Good Monday afternoon to you, traders. Thank you all for being here. How do you like the new waiting music? I think it's a little bit better. I like it. It's a sort of Celtic guitar thing. So, interesting topic we're going over today. I don't know if any of you saw if you just scrolled past, or if any of you saw the thumbnail of the girl sticking her head in the polar bear mouth. And what does that have to do with trading, and what does it have to do with being fearless, and what does any of this have to do with what I'm talking about today? So, you ever had one of those roundabout thoughts that just, lead you from place to place to place? So this all started yesterday when I was at my sound booth at church. I helped run the broadcast for the live stream, and the choir was doing their Christmas special, and they were singing "Hark the Herald Angels Sing." I'm not sure what the name of the song is. That's the first line. And I made the comment to the fellow who's running the cameras that, that's all great, but they don't actually sing in the Bible. And look, you can probably question my theology or my biblical interpretation, but I've read every section where the angels actually vocalize. Angels don't sing; they speak. And you look at the original word in the Greek, they're "hark the herald angels," and the word there is "proclaim." So anyway, long story short, it got me to thinking about, why don't angels sing? Well, I don't know. Why do we call it an angelic choir? Why do we say that someone has the voice of an angel? I don't know. Not even entirely sure how someone can gauge the vocal harmonic proficiency of an angelic choir, because there's no such thing. Anyway, I'm digressing. It got me to thinking about, every time an angel shows up in the Bible, what are the first words out of their mouth? It's not, "Hear ye, hear ye." It's not, "Hey, I'm here for a thing." It's almost always, "Don't freak out," in ye olde Greek and Hebrew. They always start off with their angelic appearance by saying, "Don't be afraid, fear not." And we talked about this last week, about taking a leap of faith and how fear can overcome us as a trader. And I wanted to tie this in. You're like, well, hang on, where is he going with all of this? Angels and singing and fearing and trading. Let me read you this verse, and I love this. This is so applicable to us as traders. This is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. Now, this is Paul writing a letter to his mentee, disciple, student, friend, Timothy. And he says a lot of things leading up to this. He says, "But for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." And the thing that I love about this is when you look at those words, spirit of fear, and then power and sound mind, that spirit of fear is timidity, fearfulness, obviously, and cowardice. We're going to come back to that. So fear is not just, "Oh, I'm afraid of snakes. I'm afraid of falling off of a 30-story building." It's timidity. And how many times does that describe us as traders? We're being timid. Now, cowardice is a pretty strong word for fear. But how many times do you see what you're supposed to do in your trading? And like Paul says, the thing that I want to do is the thing I don't do. The thing that I don't want to do, that's what I do. I mean, this idea of timidity, being too timid to click the button. We'll go into another time, probably this week, the opposite of this. Fear is terrible when it comes to a trader. What can actually kill you as a trader, though, is the opposite feeling, which is 10 feet tall and bulletproof. By the way, 10 feet tall and bulletproof, I believe, is a country song. If someone knows where that phrase comes from, let me know. Moving on. So God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, which begs the question. Where's my microphone at? It begs the question. If God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, where's it come from? But anyway. All right. So fear is timidity or cowardice. That's when Paul says fear, he's not talking about anxiety. He's talking about fearfulness, cowardice, timidity. Now, it doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. This power, the Greek word there is dynamis, dynamite, strength or power, or fantastically for traders, ability. And then in the end, sound mind is self-control or moderation. So think about what he is saying here. If Paul was writing to Timothy, now Paul was a tent maker. Let's assume for the sake of argument, Timothy was a trader. And Paul is, whenever he's saying one thing, he's saying several things at one time. He's saying, hey, look, Timothy, God didn't give us this spirit of fear. So, hey, if you got a spirit of fear, didn't come from God, where'd it come from? So you've got your trade setups. You've got your trading for the week. You've got what you're doing. You think, I'm a little afraid to step out on this trade. Maybe it's a brand new market for you. And I just recently started trading ETFs and options. Well, options again, but ETFs for the first time. But God didn't give us that spirit of fear. He gave us a spirit of sound mind, which is power, number one, ability. And sound mind means self-control. God gave us the ability to have the self-control to do the trading that he gave us to do. I have said it before, and I will say it again today. We are here to help fathers or anybody who is the head of a household fulfill the command from Proverbs. It says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And I believe that trading is the best way to do that. Anyone can trade. Being afraid of trading is like being afraid of juggling. I'm not going to juggle today because I left my juggling bean bags at home. But trading is just a skill. Being afraid of trading is like being afraid of plumbing. Now, sure, you might be worried about there's a difference between anxiety, thinking about what might happen, and timidity or cowardice. Those are what this strong Greek word is saying. How do we overcome it, right? The next two things that Paul says God gave us. He did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. All right. So love, sure, fine, we get that. Trying to see if this is one of you dinging in. It's not. So power, ability, and sound mind, self-control. God gave us the ability to have self-control. So when you're afraid, I know it's an emotion, and I know that if any of you out there are married, this is not marital advice. Try your best to overcome emotion with logic. Now, my wife and I had this discussion. She's got a new job, and there's some areas that she's just a little concerned about. And so I was trying to help her out with her fears by applying logic. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. But as much as possible for you within yourself, try to apply some logic to that fear and emotion. So what is it that you're afraid of when it comes to your trading? I'm afraid of losing money, probably. Now, part of it could be I'm afraid of looking bad to my friends and family. I'm afraid in general. When this timidity, this hesitation, you know what you should do. You know you need to go ahead and everything has said, click enter, click buy, click sell. But I've got the button on the mouse and I just can't do it. I can't do it. Timidity, cowardice, right? When those things happen, stop for a minute. I encourage everybody out there to journal every single day your trades, but not just your actual trades. Journal what's going on in your barrel of monkeys. I refer to this as my barrel of monkeys. If you're just joining us, we're talking about trading and how to overcome fear. Fear is a seed of doubt that grows into a tree of discouragement. And I have said it before. I said it in the book that doubt and discouragement are the twin killers of traders. Traders lose money all the time and don't quit. They start to doubt what they're doing. Discouragement sets in. They find themselves at the bottom of a pit and they just give up. That all starts with fear. So every day, write down not only what happened in your trading. I entered this trade, I entered that trade. I saw this setup. I didn't take it because I'm waiting on this. Also write down how you are feeling. Specifically, what's holding you back? What are your fears? And then, again, I know that applying logic to an emotion, it's apples and oranges. But try your best to break that fear down. Okay, what am I specifically afraid of? Afraid if I do this, then what will happen? And once you break down what is it I'm specifically afraid of, you're going to find that you can overcome those specific aspects of that. By the way, I love how Myron Golden puts it. Very few of us have fears. Most of us have anxiety. A fear is being afraid or concerned of a real and imminent danger. When I learned how to play golf, I played golf twice in my life. That's like 6 hours I would love to give back. Anyway, we were on Hilton Head, South Carolina. I was working for a company. It was like expected that you play golf at the company golf outing. We get to the 18th hole, tee hole, the end of the hole. We get to the 18th hole. There's like 30 golf balls in this one spot. I have no idea why they're all there. I'll walk over to where I think my golf ball is, and there's like two giant alligators sunning themselves. Now, when an alligator suns itself, it keeps its mouth open. There's two giant alligators over there with 30 golf balls. I thought, oh, that's why there's so many golf balls. So going to fetch my golf ball gave me a legitimate fear. There's an alligator there, and it could kill me. That's a fear. And anxiety is worry over something that's not real and hasn't happened yet. So for the most part, when we have fear in our trading, what we're really saying is we have anxiety. Now, Bible's got an answer for that as well. Be anxious for nothing. This is Philippians 4. Paul, if you're watching, help me out here. Philippians 4, 9, 8, 11, somewhere in chapter 4 of Philippians. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and petition, submit your request to God, but with prayer and thanksgiving. Oh man, am I butchering that? I do apologize. Point being, don't be anxious. So these fears that we have in our trading, honestly, first and foremost, they're really anxieties. They're us starting with worry and taking a worried thought down to its completion. Oh, where's this thing going to end? What might possibly go wrong? I am the king of worrying about things that haven't happened yet and making a plan. Now, there's nothing wrong with a contingency plan, but in your trading, when you build your strategy, that's already built in. Just remember, Paul is telling his disciple Timothy, God didn't give us this spirit of fear. Spirit there, this inward man, this inward person. God didn't give it to us. So where did it come from? If God didn't give it to us, chances are we shouldn't have it. He gave us ability and self-control. And those are your two key tools to overcome your fear in trading. Break it down. What is it I'm specifically afraid of? Am I afraid that if I get into this trade, I'll lose money? Okay. Use your ability and use your self-control, your risk management and your trade management to cancel that out. Okay. The other one, I'm afraid that somehow this will make me look like people will laugh at me, that they'll think I'm a loser. That's a pride issue. That's also an emotion. That can be broken down. Okay. How can we control that? That one honestly has to be eliminated. It's an emotional, that is the largest of the barrel of monkeys that you're going to have to overcome, which is pride. Having said all that, guys, the easiest way that I know of, and I know a lot of you here are scrolling through and catching this, probably may not be Christians, may not believe the Bible, but God's word is the basis of godly trading, right? We are here to trade using biblical principles. And when it comes to emotions and the things that are attacking us, again, Paul says God didn't give us a spirit of fear. So who gave us that spirit of fear? If it wasn't God, then the antidote to the poison of fear is God's word. And applying that even in your trading, even in your timidity, that you don't want to go ahead and click that button. So today, as you go about your trading, remember that anxiety that you feel is not real. You can take your self-control and your ability and overcome the legitimate concerns you have about trading, which are losing money. You can absolutely use your back testing, your risk management, your trade management, and overcome that. I mean, switch to options where all of the risk is calculated before you hit the button. All right. Those are kind of things. You can absolutely use your God-given abilities to overcome the legitimate risk. That leaves for lack of a better term, the illegitimate risk, the fear of how you're going to feel and how people are going to view you. And for that, I would highly recommend that you join our Facebook group. We just had our first weekly accountability group meeting last night. It was fantastic. We talked about some things about how we're doing as our traders, and every week the main emphasis there. Sure, we're going to have trade setups. Sure, we're going to talk about specifics on this trade that we're looking at, that trade we're looking at, give out some Pepper's picks, right? But the primary purpose is to say, how are we doing as traders? What was your week like? Did you have any specific fears that were holding you back? Did you have some doubt? Did you have some pride? Did you have 5 wins in a row and now you feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof? Let's deal with that. So if you're dealing with these emotions, the barrel of monkeys that's causing you either to trade on tilt or be timid, as Paul told Timothy, then I encourage everybody, just join our Facebook group. Let me put a comment if you're with us here. It is it's facebook.com/groups. Try that again. www.facebook.com/groups. I'm typing without my glasses. /godly trading. So I would encourage everybody out there. The group is absolutely free. Anyone can join. Just come and talk to us, and we are here to help one another and strengthen one another. So Today, as you go about your day, remember, God didn't give us a spirit of fear, either in life or in trading. God didn't give it to us. Chances are we shouldn't have it. Reach out to us. We can help you overcome that. So, guys, thank you for being here, and I will see all of you next time.